Hello, everybody out there in the land of PAX Online. Thank you for joining us here for this game of Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu, 7th edition. My name is James, my pronouns are he, him, and I am the keeper for this awesome scenario, which has an awesome, amazing cast. They're so amazing that they don't need me at all to introduce themselves. They can do that easily themselves. So let's jump straight across to Becca.
Hello. Oh, my mic is peaking. I'm Becca Scott. I'm playing Dr. Nevada Jones. Both my pronouns and her pronouns are she, her. She's just, a professor of archaeology, unlike any character you've ever met before, and that's all you need to know.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The Professor of Archaeology will be diving in to the scenario. Noura.
Hi, I'm Noura Ibrahim, and I will be playing Eliza Beaumont, dilettante and novelist. Her pronouns are she, her, and yeah, we'll see what shenanigans she gets herself into.
All right, fantastic. And I love the glasses once again. B-Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
B-Dave Walters, he, him. I'm playing Wentworth Avery. I'm a professor of linguistics. You see, I know a number of languages. I'm rather proficient in slang also with the kids, what they're saying these days. And I'm prepared for a mysterious, spooky adventure.
Could you give us one example of something the kids like to say? I know my students often comment on, wow, that's super dax.
Oh, this is the bee's knees, the eel's hips. The bank is closed. The bank is closed means stop making out, by the way. I think I have to deploy that one on the kids on occasion and get them to put their faces down and concentrate.
Stop making deposits.
That's a very different type of course that the college teaches you. That one they're missing, you see.
No.
And now we're all learning, which is fantastic. And of course, Holly.
Hello, everyone. My name's Holly. Pronouns she, her. And I'm playing Keiko Kane. I am a science student. And I don't believe in anything, and I think that everything is fake. Science can explain everything, and I am going to prove that none of this is supernatural.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Because it's completely not real, for sure.
Exactly.
Anyway, so those of you who don't know about Call of Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu is a role-playing game of horror and investigation, where the players struggle against incomprehensible and terrible forces from planes beyond human understanding. And with that in mind, let's jump into our scenario, which is taking place in April of 1921. So, on a dark road in the backwoods of rural Massachusetts, a Ford Model T is making its way down the dusty path with a light sprinkling of rain that is just trickling across the roof. This is where your collection of investigators finds yourself at the beginning of the scenario. Now, things go very rarely well in Call of Cthulhu. It's a dangerous game, so we are going to seize every opportunity we have to have said that something went well in the past. We're going to start the scenario with the collection of you having just returned from a successful investigation. You struggle against the mythos and you have prevailed. So, Becca, can you tell me a scary mythos monster that you think you might have defeated on your most recent investigation? Doesn't have to be a real one. It could be something you made up.
It's a very real one. The Glayaki. It was a servant of the Glayaki. It was a piece of it that had come to our shores. And, well, I think we banished it. I'm very proud of how we worked together.
Brilliant, absolutely. B-Dave, can you make up maybe a cool stylistic injury that your character sustained during the investigation or during the ritual to banish the Galaki?
It was almost as bad as those fish people near Innsmouth that time, but I broke my glasses. I only have my monocle left. See, now I gotta investigate with my monocle. Nearly thought I was going to lose an eye there. I did, but it stayed put this time.
Managed to keep its place. Perfect. And Holly, can you make up a terrible vision or a terrible memory that is lingering in your mind and that shall haunt you to the rest of your days that you witnessed or occurred during your most recent investigation?
Oh, I saw a flash of eternal darkness, but with nothing but eye-filled ooze on the ground, with its blinking, unending vision looking into nothing.
Okay, fantastic.
But it's not real.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, science. Science can explain most things at the very least.
Nobody.
It was swamp gas reflecting off of the moon.
Fantastic. Of course, yes. And Noura, can you make up a secret that your character witnessed that you have not revealed to the rest of the group?
Well, certain fish people. I once saw a little girl being terribly attacked and eaten by said fish people that I don't believe anybody else saw.
A terrible thing to witness, and something that you don't necessarily have to share with the rest of the investigators to spare their mind of such horrible things. So, you've had a successful investigation. You've all helped each other. You all are relatively known to each other. Perhaps you have come into contact through the Miskatonic University in Arkham, which has a large collection of supernatural investigatory types and tends to be a haven for that sort of thing. And you, after having sorted out your investigation, probably spent a night or two at a hotel near Innsmouth, preferably not the one that is referenced in the book and would be all kinds of terrifying.
We did stay there to prove. There's just nothing to it, you see. That's we just slept like babies for a number of days.
It was perfect.
Well, perhaps you did, but terrible decor kept me awake all night.
Brilliant. Okay, and we will jump into the game as in the morning before returning towards Arkham in a lovely Ford Model T, Eliza, you received a call, crackly on a not particularly good hotel phone. And this was a call from one of the servants, basically, one of your staff that has been assisting you while you've been in America, and specifically this part of America, and has been managing your affairs in Arkham. So you get a call from them, crackly over a line. I'm terribly sorry to disturb you while you're on holiday. Can you tell us what the name of your staff member and what they look like?
His name is Edward. A very gaunt gentleman, but he means well and he tries hard. And so I know that he has been with my family for quite some time.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm calling to talk to you and your group. I received a message that was sent through and by a man named Dr. Webb, who seemed rather distressed and was very, very insistent upon speaking with you all urgently. Now, Dr. Webb is a name that one of the other members of the group is going to recognize. Dr. Webb is a physician from rural Massachusetts who has been involved in just a touch of mythos investigation in the past. He is a pillar of the local community and beloved by all of the people who live near him, since he provides very high quality medical service for them. But I need one of you to hate this person. One of you. Yeah, perfect. The two of you had a falling out. What was it based around?
Yeah, I brought him a number of treatises on Greek and Egyptian medical treatments that would help the community, and he just dismissed it outright. Said it was a hooey, is what it was, and I told him that he would rue the day that he turned his back on the ancient wisdom.
Absolutely, and he was rather rude to you about the entire thing. So, Wentworth, you do not lie. Yeah, ready to throw hands with Dr. Webb, or Godfrey, as you would call him.
Godfrey.
Perfect. But in particular, Webb was trying to talk to you and said there was something terrible happening at his home, which is a small cottage near an area of road outside Arkham called Orchard Run, and begged that you throw aside all of the tension that the two of you had held for years and come to help him because he was in desperate need of your assistance. Having delivered this message, the collection of you realize, fortunately, by mere happenstance, Orchard Run is on the way back to Arkham. So it's going to be just an easy detour to drive on past and see what Dr. Webb has in mind, what he wants to ask you, and try and put this man's mind to rest.
I believe Dr. Webb came to my conference once on ancient artifacts in the Mesopotamian area. He did seem quite skeptical. It's interesting. You also had a similar experience, Avebury.
Godfrey, like I'm very much preoccupied. Like, and say, I want to go to his home just to prove this is a bunch of hooey. Keiko, you can show him up, show that he's just scared of something completely reasonable. Like he didn't listen to the true arcanum. It probably just were raccoons loose in the walls or some such. Old fuddy.
I agree. I think that raccoons are responsible for most of the things that we see.
Well, Keiko, perhaps you will learn that discourse is the way to get to the bottom of anything. But sometimes there's mysteries that can't be explained.
Before we go blaming everything on raccoons, my question is, it's rather unusual that Mr. Webb, or Dr. Webb, who I haven't personally met, had seeked out our assistance, given that he has a very dislike, I wouldn't say dislike, but not a very good rapport with you, Wentworth.
Well, he also did not call me directly. I told him to go chase himself and hung up the phone. But that's fine. He indirectly can ask for my assistance. And you, brilliant young observers and scientists and dilettante. I don't know how one trains to be a dilettante. But yes, you've proven yourself many times over, Miss Eliza, many times over.
It does speak to some desperation that he would go to such lengths.
That's true.
How did he know we were at that hotel to call? He just thought the most dangerous hotel in Innsmouth would be where we'd be located. Is it?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
You believe...
He spoke to Edward, of course,
yes,
Miss Eliza's
right.
assistant.
Yes.
We do like danger. It's fine.
You believe that Webb probably got in contact with the Miskatonic University, and that led through to getting in contact with Edward, which led through to getting in contact with Eliza. You also think that the only reason that Dr. Webb could have contacted you specifically, given the tension that the two of you have, is if the matter he was so terrified about referred to, or at least he believed it referred to, the mythos and terrible things that nobody else could explain. You are his last port of call.
It's a trick, but let's go.
Who's driving? Can you step on it, please?
Presumably I'm driving.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I can't drive. The last time I drove, I crashed.
Not a good sign. Yes, I think
I took the night shift, so I was taking a break.
I say I'm driving, but I only have a 20% skill in drive, so I don't have to be driving, honestly, because we're going to be like Model T drift out of here.
That's all right. And also with your monocle, I could be your eyes.
It's true, yes.
Oh,
exactly.
no.
I will direct you.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So you're driving along down this road, and there's been a little bit of rain, which I described at the start, but that little bit of rain in the time that we've had this interlude of narration has started to get worse. It's raining heavier now, and the road's getting a little bit muddy. The easy trip that you felt very confident making, given that you have 20% in drive auto because it's just a drive along a road, is now looking to be a little bit more complicated. The road is beginning to really land, and wind is pelting the car, and it's even shaking a little.
There's nothing I love more than a good storm.
I can't draw my raccoons in this.
Did Godfrey happen to mention what was in it for us for this? Because this is becoming a bit perilous here. I don't like man versus environment narratives. I've never been a fan of those.
Ooh, all right. Well, unfortunately, the rain is getting worse and worse. So you have not been told what is in it for you. You're getting increasingly frustrated, and the rain is still pouring down. A storm is brewing. You can hear cracks of lightning and thunder, so cracks of thunder and sea lightning. As you continue, you've suddenly caught in a storm. And then suddenly you're caught in an incredible storm, the storm of a century. And the car is being swept from one side to another, and there is rain pounding against the windows. And Ford Model Ts just have this little fabric top.
It's fine Arkham weather here.
Is this area known for this sort of weather? I don't believe it is.
Not to this extent. It's not unheard of. You know, just seeing this, you're not like, oh, this is immediately something out of the ordinary. But you know, it is a bit weird, and it's getting harder and harder to drive. And there is mud and slush across the road, and you're desperately trying to maintain. Can you make for me a drive auto test?
Oh no!
It's a meteorological phenomenon of a mystical bent. I feel here.
When my data shows me.
I got a 3%.
Okay, a 3%. An extreme
I refuse to wreck my car on Godfrey's land.
Brilliant.
Imagine you have 2 eyes.
Yes.
So fortunately, you're able to hold steady and you're not swerving out of control. You actually managed to dodge a fallen tree at one point. You're going around. The rain is getting worse and worse, but you realize you can't stop now. You know, the car will get bogged down in the mud, and you're forcing yourself along. You can hardly see more than a few feet in front of you, but you're grabbing the wheel, white-knuckled. You're continuing. Then, out of nowhere, you see a figure dressed in white, standing in the middle of the road in front of your speeding car. But with that extreme success, you can spin it to the side and you can avoid hitting them. Assuming you want to.
I was about to say, what if I choose to hit them, actually? But okay. Fine. Last time person in the road, it was awful, but yes, I slide.
Okay.
I'm like, I lean and I look at Nevada, and I'm like, Nevada, do you by chance have your pistol with you this evening? I seem to have left mine behind.
It's in the holster where I always keep it. My 38, and I pull it out and show it to Avebury.
Yes. Yes, you got us out of a number of pinches with that thing here. Is the person there, or did they disappear when we were sliding?
So you spin round. Have you got your gun? Your gun's ready. Mud has kicked up everywhere, and as soon as you stop, the sound of the kind of pounding rain is echoing all around you, and you can hardly hear. The beams of headlights are now looking towards the side of the road, but you can still faintly see the figure standing exactly where they were, maybe stumbling forward ever so slightly.
I step out of the car. I was in the front seat.
All right, you step out of the car.
Eliza, can you see anything through your lenses there?
Oh, what do you suppose he's doing out there?
I'll check on him. Someone's in trouble.
Brilliant.
They might be the trouble there, Dr. Jones. They might be the trouble.
My hand's always on the pistol, just in case.
Are you sure you want to go out there right now? In these conditions?
Is your hat big enough to block the rain?
I think so. We could always roll for it.
The door.
Oh, he must be mad to be out. Oh,
but please, after you.
Oh, he must be mad to be standing out in the middle of the road. It's a good thing that Wentworth is such a good motorist.
Thank you. Just a minute, Lady Beaumont. If this is Godfrey having a frolic here, just shoot him in the foot. Make him dance.
Oh, my. Okay, so you step out of the car, and immediately the rain hits you like a fist. Rivulets of freezing cold water manage to really get down and cling to your ribs and send an involuntary shiver up through your entire body as you hurry forward. You're looking and trying to get a good gaze at this person. Can I get you to make a spot hidden check, Eliza? Because you're peeking out.
Oh, I am good at these. I rolled a 48. I passed.
Excellent. Okay, with a pass, you squint at the figure and you manage to make out a few details. It's a young woman, It's maybe even a girl, can't be older than 16. She's dressed in what must have been particularly expensive and well put together pajamas, basically. So like a robe and a full nightgown. But they're drenched through, and she has gaunt and pale face and is shivering and wide eyes and is kind of just walking forward. She also has a massive bruise across the side of her head, which is dripping a little bit of dried blood. And
I rush over to her. Oh,
yeah, you are slogging through the mud here. So it takes you, you're only a few feet away, but it takes you a couple of seconds to get your boots through, and you're drenched immediately. You get towards this woman, and she stands there. She stops when she sees you, but she doesn't make any movement beyond that. She just watches you.
Miss, are you all right? Step into our vehicle.
She doesn't really react. Science notes, spooky rain, clearly dead lady. Perfect.
While this
I'm
is
very
happening,
busy writing my science notes.
while Nevada's out going towards her, I do say to Wentworth and Kiko, oh, well, it's not Dr. Webb. It seems to be a young woman in her night clothes, and she seems injured. And then I try to yell out without sticking my head out and getting my hair wet, be careful, Nevada.
It's just a young girl.
I throw it in reverse just enough to put the headlights back on them,
Yep. Perfect. The car splutters as you manage to drag it through the mud. It's almost bogged, but your excellent driving is going to save you from having to make anything like a mechanical repair check and stuff like that, because you just were skilled there. But the headlights swing round, and Nevada is captured, trained by the pouring rain around, and this woman isn't really following your instructions, but as you reach out, kind of mutely begins to be guided towards the car. And as you're moving
put her in the back
along,
seat next to, I make Kiko scoot to the middle.
Oh, I don't, does she smell bad?
Not particularly. She's rather clean. The rain has, the biggest concern is that the tips of her fingers are turning blue, and she appears to be, suffering from some kind of exposure here. This storm is bad. And even,
I know what that is.
Give her your jacket.
Yes, quite. Sorry. Well, I mean, she's not a spectral young woman, is she? Remember, there was that one time that we got halfway down the road with a revenant that bit through the back of my chair. Yeah, and I do.
He does seem corporeal.
Yeah.
I'll scoot over just to the other side and just kind of
Perfect. So,
do I recognize this young woman?
Oh, you might. Make for me an education test. Education representing your job training here. So I think that's probably the closest I'm going to get.
This time I rolled a 9, so I'm officially out of good luck here. It's nowhere from here on out. I'm out of good ideas. But
I'm spinning so early.
He gets in, and I'm like, hey, young woman. Yeah, right.
You do recognize her, and you recognize her based on your obsession with Godfrey, because you know everything about this man, and it's your professional business. This is his granddaughter.
Uh-oh.
Her name is Elia.
Has the luck of Godfrey's granddaughter, Elia. Elia, is that you, dear girl? Is it you? And I do just kind of like rub that hand clap thing. Elia. Girl.
Let's all rub and clap.
Front seat, Nevada, and you turn around. You're all in the car now, and you're soaking wet still. And this girl is still there, and she makes no response apart from to whisper, "Dead light, bright light."
That seems ominous. Dead light, bright light.
What do you suppose that means?
We're turning around and leaving is what it means. It's just not we should call upon Godfrey tomorrow.
She might have had a concussion or something. Maybe she's hallucinating.
Also, perhaps Dr. Webb is worried sick about her.
Let me talk to Elia again. Elia, dear, I recognize you've suffered some sort of traumatic event, but we were going to visit your grandfather. Should we go on, or would you recommend against that?
You try to get through to her, and can I get you to make for me I think a persuasion or a charm check, either of those?
Sure. Let's go with charm.
The girl looks ossified to me, if you know, you know what I mean. I do actually start driving towards the house.
Okay, so you pulled shut.
While she's
I
talking
failed.
to
She
her,
didn't tell me a thing.
Unfortunately, you don't get any more out. She whispered.
Can I try and hand her my notebook and the pen?
Yeah, absolutely. You hand her your notebook and the pen. You're trying to talk to her, Nevada, and all she's saying, she goes, "Grandpa, dead light, bright light." And
We
after
got that
you
part.
handed the pen, she will start to sort of draw something, and she draws a circle and then begins to circle it over and over again until there's just a circle in the center of the page that has been circled through 1,000 times.
Let's take the pen away.
I take the pen away.
And I
Does she still keep circling with no pin?
For a second, yeah. There's a little bit of okay, you're done now. Now you said that you were beginning to move towards the house, so you've taken off forward and you've begun to head along the road, and suddenly there is a crack of lightning right next to you, and you realize that you are passing through some kind of worse section of the storm. Trees start to sway around you, and bits of sticks are buffeting the car. And this is not in a moment, you know, but this storm is getting worse and worse and worse, and you do not feel safe driving. This is the kind of condition where an experienced driver would be, you know, we need to find somewhere, we need to take shelter. It's just a luck at this stage that a branch hasn't come and crushed the car. Thinking of
Master Avebury.
Desperate
This
to
is
try
great.
and find somewhere to hide, you do spot up ahead, like a miracle in the distance, the lights of a small rest stop, gas station, towards the side of the road, a little kind of diner.
Do we have any idea roughly how far we should be from his house? Because she went on foot, presumably some distance. So even roughly how close?
You couldn't be more than half an hour's walk away and maybe 10 minutes drive.
10 minutes under optimal conditions, which these are not. Would you all like us to pull over and pit in for a moment, or shall we challenge it?
Well, I don't know about all of you, but adventure makes me peckish.
And these are dreadful conditions. Perhaps if we wait a while, the storm will give way.
I can't take notes if the car is moving this much.
Yeah, well, we go with the majority rule, and apparently everyone says stop. So
Okay.
I whisper to Wentworth, perhaps she didn't come from her grandfather's. Do you think maybe she's escaped from elsewhere?
Well, no, again, I feel like the girl's been into the panther piss myself, but mayhaps.
The panther piss?
Yes, you know, it's what the kids call it. It's the whiskey, the old panther piss. You know, it's a little bit of the homemade. You gotta learn how to loosen up a little, Lady Beaumont. I mean, not now. Stay tight now, but later, loosen up.
I know what that is. I'm a youth.
Can't go. Right. You see, remember the still they set up there in the biology department down. It tasted like potatoes and onions. God awful.
I passed out for 3 days.
Yes, I was embarrassed that I'd lost 18 hours myself. But yes, maybe one day we'll revisit that place. But I try and get as close to the building as I can, so they don't have to go through the rain. Like if I can get right to the door type thing.
Sounds like a good idea. So mercifully, you pull in towards the building, and there is a shade further forward that covers a good deal of the rain over the gas pumps. It is really
run around to get Elia out, since things seem to be difficult for her.
Totally. So if you're over helping Elia, the car pulls up. It's really like coming out of a sudden to silence, because the rain stops landing directly on top of the car, and there's a merciful quiet. You feel slightly insulated here. You hop out of the car, Nevada, and you begin to help Elia out, who mutely follows you. Her fingers are still blue. She hasn't been treated for any kind of exposure symptoms, unless someone would like to make a first aid check.
Yeah, I'll make a first aid roll.
Okay, fantastic. But you will notice as well, the rest stop has a curved road, you know, coming in and then coming out. On the part that comes out, there is a fallen tree, and a large truck has smashed into it. It's damaged. You can see bits of the motor, you know, still like exposed and twisted metal, which has been cooled by the rain. You can see figures inside the rest stop, but there is a very clearly quite serious crash just outside.
I'll do
Someone's
my
having a
first
bad
aid.
night.
I am a meticulous investigator. You see, Lady Beaumont, might I trouble you for your cheaters here? Your spectacles.
Oh, well, yes. And I hand them to.
I don't go out in the rain or approach it at all, but I do try and look at the truck. I'm like, is there a logo on it? Is there like any indicate like what it is? You know, like any, yeah.
Spot hidden. Can I get a spot hidden check from you, please?
I was about to say it's like Big Tom's old timey hyena farm.
Totally, exactly. Yeah.
Spot, you say?
Yeah, spot hidden.
Spot hidden. My luck has run out. I have exceeded it by 20%.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah. Like,
So
how do you see anything through these glasses?
Well, perhaps they're not your prescription went with. And can I take a look and see?
Sure, make a check yourself. Now, just the things that you can obviously see, you know, there's no logos on the truck, so to say. There's not like a big, you know, John's Delivery Company or something like that up on the side. It looks maybe like a privately owned vehicle. Make your spot hidden check.
Okay, that is a pass.
That is a pass. Okay. You think this is probably a farmer's truck of some sort. You can see, you know, caked in soil that, although it is now getting blasted away by the force of the rain, it has really made its way into the grooves of this vehicle. It seems like it's seen a lot of use. You also managed to kind of lead and get a good angle and look into the cab, which, although it's been pierced a little bit by the impact and there's some rain coming in, you can see that hung up in the back of the cab is a large shotgun.
Oh, these poor farmers. Although, wait, there is a shotgun back there. Do I see anybody else is there anybody visible?
Inside the rest stop itself, which has sort of a diner section at the front, you can see there's a couple of figures moving around, and one or two of them are kind of leaning out, looking towards the collection of you because they've seen a new car arrive.
Even as all this was happening, I was very slowly leading Elia, who was only taking very tiny steps towards the door. And once I get her inside and sitting in a booth, then I'll perform some first aid. Okay,
fantastic. You're leading her inside. Are the collection of you going to follow, or is there anything else that you would like to do outside?
I'll follow, because I want to do a first aid check as well. Because I talk about how my brother is a doctor in San Francisco and how he taught me how to do first aid checks. As like a real doctor, a scientist.
I gave myself a 50-50 chance, and I think I'm gonna try and get the shotgun.
Okay. Now, all right, fantastic. So you edge out of the.
I think I can make that, Eliza. I'm more spry than I look. You see, I think maybe worth a shot.
What if they're armed inside and they see you?
Well, I mean, presumably the driver abandoned his firearm to go inside. You see, might be doing him a favor. Could you just keep an eye out if you see any shuggoths creeping up out of the grass? Let me know.
I can't guarantee that they don't have anything on them. But all right.
Well, I mean, no, I feel like that is more of an argument for the shotgun rather than against it, there, lady. I do edge out. I make a point of giving her the keys before I go.
Okay, you don't even follow this. You struggle through the rain, and it is once again like hit by a fist as you come through. You get up into the cab, and you do a little bit just to avoid being seen by the people inside, but they don't have a good angle. You come up, you get the shotgun. The front of the barrel has been sawn off, so it's a little shorter. You could hide it under your coat or something like that if you'd like.
Yeah.
And as you are stepping out, something catches your eye. Make a spot hidden check for me.
I will shoot it. I'm like, cool. Oh, hey, the luck is returned. That is a 19. I pass it. Beat it by 30%, I suppose. Just to be clear, as an aside, I know lower numbers are better. Like, is there some margin which constitutes like great success or?
So we have 3 tiers of successes. We have a regular success, which is just underneath. We have a hard success, which is under half, and we have an extreme success, which is under a fifth.
That might, hold on, that for spa, that is under a half.
Brilliant. Okay, so hard success.
Okay.
So you, as you're heading out through the rain, through the wind and the bluster, you spot something on the other side of the road. So far across the, quite far away on the other side of the road, there is a light is moving through the trees. And you only see it for a couple of seconds, and then it's gone.
Did it look like a dead light? Is it might be what the girl was referring to? I super hightail it like back to my varsity days. You see, knees up in the mud, knees up. Hoop, 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 hoop.
Okay, fantastic.
Where are you going?
No, I do not go after. I'm coming back.
Oh,
yeah.
Like
I'm
like, yeah, I'm like,
I
yeah.
thought
That's
you were
where.
running after.
No. That's where I'm not going. I'm
Excellent.
going that way.
That's much more reassuring.
Although as I'm coming, I am pointing. I don't know if she's gonna have a chance to see it, but I'm like,
What is it, Renwith?
There's a light in the trees. She was saying, ooh, dead light. I mean, I thought the bright lights was the headlights because their death was imminent. You see, but no, over in the trees, I saw something like passing through, like a light or a lantern or some such. But who would be out in conditions such as these besides all of us, I suppose?
Well, yes, but that's just mad.
That has never stopped anyone before on our adventures, Lady Beaumont.
So inside, the two of you have brought Elia in, and you step through, and there's a reassuring blast.
Don't worry, young lady. I once was in the Congo and a pygmy village that I entered. Well, they stabbed me upon entry with a dagger in the thigh, but I've learned much first aid since then, and I sewed my own stitches. So you'll be just fine in my hands.
Brilliant. All right, so you the two of you walk inside and sit down, and I'd like both of you to make a first aid check as you try to treat Elia. Now, people are now looking towards you. Oh, something good?
Extreme success. I got a 2 on 50.
Oh, fantastic. So with Keiko's help, you're able to basically make sure, no frostbite, and you check the bruise. It's a little bit battered, maybe a mild concussion, but Elia
I want
is
you to
going
stay awake. Or go to sleep. I don't know what doctors recommend in this time period. Either one should be fine.
The rest of the patrons of this small gas stop are all sort of looking towards you now. There's a couple of them. There's sort of 2 staff members, an older man with a small bristly mustache and a young woman with ash blonde hair that are behind the counter, and you can smell some cooking food and see a pot of coffee being passed around. Sitting at the counter itself, there's a very, very, very old couple who is sort of looking out and having a soft conversation, although at seeing someone injured walk in, they appear to have stopped. And finally, there is this very large man dressed as a farmer would, presumably the owner of the truck, and he is he has not made any acknowledgement of your arrival, and he's just loudly ranting to the air about the stupid fucking tree, and going on and on and on, loudly, an aggressive presence that permeates the entire room. He also is occasionally pulling out a small flask and topping up his coffee before knocking it back. After you've performed the first aid.
Pardon me, sir. Oh, yeah. Excuse me, everyone. My name is Dr. Nevada Jones. Does anyone know this young woman?
A few people kind of look towards the trucker. Looks upset that he's been interrupted and doesn't say anything. The old couple shake their heads, but the man behind the counter, the owner. By the way, the other 2 of you have now entered the building, having hightailed it away from the strange light, and walk in time to see the owner, who introduces himself as Sam. Says, "Yeah, that's Webb's granddaughter, Dr. Webb's granddaughter. I think." I don't know what she's doing out in the middle of the night.
Nor do I. She's catatonic, as it seems.
Well,
Do you know if she lives with Dr. Webb?
Yeah, she does. They got a cottage out back, maybe 20 minutes that way.
Right. Has anyone seen Dr. Webb this evening?
Well, no, they keep to themselves. Is she okay? Yes.
The light I saw, would it have been roughly in the direction of the cottage? Like, I know it's twists, turns, rain, everything, but I mean, even...
No, it would have been on the other side. But good point, yes.
I look at the farmer and I'm all like, well, his spification may be the source of the auto accident. But I say, hey, excuse me, good sir. Before your unfortunate automotive calamity, did you by chance happen to see this woman out for a leisurely stroll? And I motion at Elia.
He looks towards Elia and kind of, no, only thing I saw before the crash was I saw a light passing by in the middle of the road, and it startled me, and I swerved and I hit the tree, and who's gonna pay for this?
When he says light, I whip around and I look at Ellie with my monocle, see if she reacts. I'm like very much in her bubble, like,
at the word of light, she kind of.
This could be ball lightning. It happens. We did just see a really extreme storm. Ball lightning could be common in these parts if the storm was large enough.
Did you say ball lightning?
It's common. It's lightning in the form of a sphere. An atmospheric occurrence that's relatively common, though not as common as we seem to be encountering it.
Young Kiko, there may be a professor in you yet.
Yeah,
we store.
I hope so. I want tenure.
We encounter a statistically anomalous amount of ball lightning in our line. Dr. Nevada, Keiko, if I may for a second, and I do like usher them over, and I pull my coat open slightly so they can see the butt of the shotgun, and I also say, I saw the light. It was maybe not 100 paces hence, moving through the woods. I thought about giving chase and then realized that would be foolish. So I came back in here instead to tell all of you.
Yes. Interesting. And as this is going on, I remembering Elia's hands, I ask the gentleman, what was his name?
Sam, the owner.
Sam, would we all be able to get a mug of hot coffee, please?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Mary set something up, and within a few moments, you can see that coffee is being brought over, as well as some cocoa, and so even a couple of strips of bacon are thrown over on a grill so that you can get some food.
Great idea, Eliza.
Thank you. Perhaps we can warm her hands or something.
Oh, I thought you meant for No, I just wanted.
Oh, I am famished. I would love to eat as well, but I was just looking at her dreadfully blue hands.
Yeah, with a warm pot of coffee, everything gets a bit calmer. This collection of you scoot into a booth where we're all now isolated a little bit from the rest of the people here. You can still see this farmer loudly yelling in the corner, and Sam sort of enduring listening to him. You are a little closer to the old couple who are sort of having a very old, charming conversation. Every time there's a flash of thunder, the older woman kind of points out and says, "Oh, the angels must be crying," and they have they seem a little odd but very peaceful.
At that I say, "Did you hear that, Keiko? The angels must be crying."
Angels
just to kind of egg her on.
Angels aren't. They're not real. That's definitely a hallucination from our past.
Keiko,
sir, madam.
Mob.
Just as an aside. Do the words EA Cthulhu for talking mean anything to you by chance? No reaction.
The two of them glance at each other, and then the man says, "Well, I don't speak that much German, so that was German, right?"
No, and when he reacts like that, only then do I drink the coffee. Oh, right.
Okay.
I'd like to saddle up to the counter and maybe straddle a bar stool and ask Sam a little more about Dr. Webb and Elia. You say you don't see these people much, huh? What do you think of them?
Well, I see Elia a little bit. She comes around, fill up her car, and but they pay well. I deliver some groceries through to them every now and again. Dr. Webb's old, he don't move so good, so I got to well, you understand.
Seems like not many people live around here.
No, it's quiet around here. Orchard Run. I mean, there's farms around here, but no, it's quiet.
Huh. And do you need the doctor's services much? Is he your local doctor?
Oh yeah, well, people come all over to see him. He's quite talented. Sometimes we get all kinds of odd types coming to visit him. Actually, now that you mention it, driving fancy cars and the like. He tends to a lot of richer clientele.
Interesting. Can I roll psychology to see if there's anything he's not telling me?
Sure. Roll a psychology check.
Oh no, I'm very obtuse today. There's a lot going on. The rain's in my eyes.
So there is a mechanic in Call of Cthulhu, of course, called the pushed roll, where you can attempt to re-roll at a risk of a greater kind of issue. So as you are looking and trying to get something out of Sam, you notice that in the background, Mary, the other attendant at the gas station, is looking a little nervous, and she appears maybe a bit concerned. Would you like to push the psychology roll and go and...
I would like to push the roll, but instead of my justification is, how about her? What does she know about them? And I want to dig deeper into Mary with my push roll. Maybe that's what gets under people's skin. We'll see what happens. Ooh, can't spend luck on a push roll.
No, can't spend luck on a push roll, I'm afraid. So you kind of lean over.
These dice are in trouble. Hold on, they're going in timeout.
That's jail.
So you're not quite sure what reaction you're expecting. Sam goes to sort of explain who Mary is, and Mary snaps round and says, "Mind your own damn business." And then...
Testy.
And she storms away, like having realized that she's made an outburst, and kind of vanishes into a back room. And Sam looks surprised. Kind of, sorry.
I coolly spin around on the stool and see if my party noticed that strange reaction.
I don't like it when people are angry.
As a scientist, you understand, we can't control the ape brain. You see, sometimes just the anger comes up. Hey, by the way,
I call it the
Sam,
lizard brain.
We don't have a lizard brain, Keiko. Like, that's... Hey, come. You're supposed to be a scientist, Keiko.
We're all part lizard.
Lizard people.
Ape
I
brain,
heard
lizard
a
brain.
legend about lizard people when I was inside of a pyramid. There was, drawings.
Yeah, I mean, we saw fish people. Keiko didn't believe it, but then it's telling us that we are lizard people. That's it. You're a curious child.
I don't
but
think
don't
they
change.
were fish people. I just think they were raccoons that might have been extremely wet and covered in seaweed.
How does a raccoon resemble a fish?
If it's covered in seaweed, anything can resemble a fish.
Does a raccoon have gills?
If the seaweed is folded in a certain way and swamp gas is reflecting off the moon, you can see anything. Just like this ball lightning outside.
Sam, you by chance, do you have a blower, Sam? Do you have a telephone? I know you're in these quaint environs. You may or may not, but...
Yeah, we do. You're welcome to use it, and gestures towards a side room where there's a telephone.
Do we know Dr. Webb's telephone number? Whatever I think of the man.
Would Edward have left it with me?
Yeah, you would have had Edward has left a number with you, so you can.
Just Eliza, when you call after the proper pleasantries, of course. Please let him know that it was Wentworth Avery. It was instrumental in the saving of his grandchild. Make sure you slip that part in there when you talk to the man.
I thought you hated him. Why are you trying so hard to impress?
I want him to know that he needed me.
Keep your enemies closer and all that.
Right, well, Wentworth, are you sure you don't want to make the call yourself?
No. I wish to impose upon the man in person when I see him. Not me, not like this.
So I proceed to call Dr. Webb.
All right. You head over to the telephone, dial the number, you pick it up, and crash! There's a strike of thunder, and all the light goes out, and the phone goes dead.
Oh.
And suddenly, power outage. You're all surrounded.
Do I see any ball lightning?
Make a spot
I look
hidden check.
outside. Yeah. All right.
And I really wanted to tell him that you sent your well wishes, Wentworth.
Yes, I suppose we'll have to do it in person. Also, Keiko, by now you must admit that happens a statistically anomalous amount of the time to us, that things like this keep happening to us.
Well, a statistical anomaly is just a statistical anomaly.
How did the pass?
All right, so I got a 42 on my... I have to look at my...
Your skill, no worries.
For... What was I doing?
Spot hidden?
Spot hidden, okay. Doop, doop. Okay, so I have a 45.
Oh, okay, so that's a pass. You
yes.
spot just for a moment, out one of the windows looking back behind the gas station, you can see there's a small like utility set up. Maybe they have a generator or something. And moving away from it now is a light which is into the trees.
I saw it. I saw the ball lightning. Why don't we go out and try and analyze it?
I could shoot it.
That's
Before we go shooting at things, perhaps we should approach carefully. Assuming that it's not ball lightning, but perhaps cautiously, as though anything is possibly dangerous.
Yes, because it seemed to have had a quite negative impact on this young lady. Your ball lightning seems to have scared the wits just right out of the child. Hey, Leah, hello, my girl. Can you hear me?
She's starting to look a bit better. You've treated her. You've gotten her some a hot drink to warm her hands, and she managed to get another word out or two. And as you're looking towards her, she says, "Grandpa's dead."
Ha! Good.
Wentworth, that's terrible. You can think it, but don't say it to the girl.
Yeah,
As
laughing
Mark
about
Twain-
death is never a good look.
No, if I may, as the great Mark Twain said, I've never wished a man dead, but I've read some obituaries with great delight.
Honestly, Wentworth, the girl is right here.
She does look. I think she starts to cry.
They're
I'll just
there
hug
now,
her.
dear.
I'm gonna hug her. I'm gonna give her a hug. and be like,
She's still pretty
"It's all
out of it, so she's restored to catatonia before long. But she can talk a little more, it seems. So if you have any
The
questions,
mean man doesn't mean it.
Do you know how did he pass?
the light. It was the light.
Did the light punch you in the face as well?
What? No, it was. And she kind of drifts down, looking at the table again. A few people are sort of looking over, listening to the edge of the conversation now. Sam and, in particular, the farmer, whose name is Jake. He hasn't introduced himself, but for ease of identification, we're going to just refer to him as Jake. He turns back and says, "Oh, that girl seems crazy. Where'd you find her?"
She's not crazy. She's perfectly sane. She was just standing in the middle of the road in the rain and almost got hit by her car.
She's in shock.
She suffered an accident, just like you. She suffered an accident, and it's uncalled for to say here that she's crazy.
She's been taken by a bit of the fog of war. You see, she's seen something traumatic that her brain is diligently attempting to process. You see.
He bristles.
Maybe Jake can help us out.
The implication that, you know, his accident was his fault, and he spins around angrily and he's muttering and grumbling. He might be able to help you, although he does seem a rather objectionable sort.
Seems
Let's
rather
keep
surly.
Elia. Elia, did she answer that she was hurt by the light as well?
She didn't quite answer who had hurt her, but she did seem to imply that the light was... Well, she implied that the light was responsible for the death of her grandfather. Now, you know that the cottage is only about 20 minutes walk away, although it would be through a storm. That said, you have seen this ball lightning drifting around the outside of the area.
I'm a little afraid to look straight at this light if it's so powerful. Perhaps
It's a
we can
simple
look through a looking
natural.
glass.
It's a phenomenon, a simple natural phenomenon of the storm.
Well, but, you know, normal lightning is also a natural phenomenon that I still would not like to be on the receiving end of, my girl. You see, don't want that.
Very good point. Very good point. I don't want to
My
get charred.
hypothesis is that this is anything but natural. I have seen some ancient powers that are unexplainable by our modern science.
Did you have any adventures that were normal? Like you just went to a pyramid and it was neat and you left?
I'll have to think about that one.
Don't write those ones down, you see. But we are adventurers. We have done this. Is this in any way familiar to us? Have we encountered anything of this ilk before?
Yes, exactly. So usually we would get you to roll a Cthulhu mythos skill to see if you can recognize something like that. But since you are using these characters, I know that they don't have a Cthulhu mythos skill. So I'll tell you what, let's have...
Oh, can I do it?
Yeah, well, what's
I
your
do have
Cthulhu
one.
mythos skill?
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
My score,
Yes.
I think it's a 29.
Oh, that is very
What?
high. I'll tell
Your
you what.
max sanity
Let's
is
get-
significantly lower.
Let's get everyone to roll a d20, apart from Eliza, and that can be what your Cthulhu Mythos score is at, and that will imply what you might.
Big old one.
That's
Oh no!
Oh no!
You get it mixed up with stories and with all of the things you've studied in the
No,
past.
no, exactly.
Yeah.
I read there's a lot of hieroglyphics swirling around in this noodle. You see.
I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong. It is a 16.
Okay,
Is that
cool.
still okay?
No, that's still fine. That's great.
Okay.
All right, mine is a
Hey,
7.
having
So if
29 is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
So if everyone's rolled a d20, then and got your Cthulhu Mythos score, then somebody, just one person, can decide to make a Cthulhu Mythos score and see if you might have encountered anything like this before.
I'll
I
do
feel
it.
like Lady Beaumont has the highest number. It's 16.
Oh yeah,
Am
go for it, Beaumont.
Am I rolling a d20 or a percentile?
This will be a percentile dice. I was just rolling the d20 to assign it
okay.
To get
I was
us skill. Yeah.
to the other characters.
confused. Nope, didn't make it. I rolled a 47.
Okay, look, this doesn't click. You're not immediately like, this is an A, this is a B, but a few things track. In your studies, in your experimentation with the mythos, you have noticed that some creatures tend to be drawn towards different aspects of the world and different aspects of humanity. And you start to realize, well, you know, if there was a car and then what's out the back, a generator, and then people, an odd thought occurs to you that maybe this thing is some kind of electrical impulse or drawn in some way to electrical energy.
Well, it does seem to be not to directly believe that it is ball lightning, but it does seem to be electrical in its nature.
All I know is that something happened at the house, and if there's a corpse, we should probably find it. Maybe it'll hold some answers.
What's the current state of the storm?
It's bad, but you could push. You know you could make it to that house. You'd have to rug up warmly, and you'd have to really struggle through the rain.
We can't drive? Our car works.
Oh, yeah. You could try and drive. It depends. Do you feel more comfortable making a drive auto check or kind of like a climb in constitution or survival check?
Would that include natural world?
Natural world is the knowledge, I'm afraid,
Okay.
more than the application.
I'll take my constitutional chances.
I was going to say, my skill is equal, and if everybody's going to die from exposure, that's good. That's...
It's the same for me as well. I think perhaps we could drive as far as we can go and then walk through.
I agree. Yeah,
I was
Sam.
quite enjoying the rocky ride in the vehicle, so I wouldn't be opposed. Let's get back in the automobile.
It was Machu Picchu all over again, wasn't it? Yeah.
It reminded me of taking a jeep through the jungle.
Just gonna say, and snakes were everywhere.
It's true. Quicksand, more quicksand than you would expect.
If there's no quicksand on this road, I think we'll be fine.
I actually look at the old couple and I motion towards Ilaria, and I'm all like, would you fine folks just keep an eye on this poor young woman until we return?
Yes, it's probably best if we don't take her to see her grandfather's dead body.
The old man asks if she only speaks German because he doesn't know if. But then you eventually manage to explain that just take care of her, and yeah, they sit in the booth with her. She's fine.
Yes, it would be awful to take her back.
I'm gonna leave her my notebook so that she has something to do.
So my luck has held.
Just a couple pieces.
My luck is held, and on the drive check, I got under half.
Oh, well
so
done. Which is what you need.
I'm like, no problem. Just got to make sure we live. Got to make sure we live. Got to make sure.
Yes, faster, Wentworth.
Yeah,
Nevada Jones, like, I'm always the one who's supposed to drive.
You get back into the rain and the storm is blustering the car. Now, one quick thing to notice as you leave, you head through the entire diner to go out, and you can see back into the kitchens, and the door to the kitchens is hanging open as if somebody has left in a hurry. But you don't really have time to consider the full details of that. You need to get to the car and you need to get moving. So back in, out to the storm, rain blustering down as you swerve through, turn around, and begin to follow roads as best you can. With a hard success, you're going to actually be able to make it all the way to the house. Well done. Up a hill towards the back of Orchard's Run, where the road is set, you manage to find this little tucked away cottage. It's quaint, it's lovely. There's some tailored garden beds out the front, although they have been thrashed and destroyed by the wind and the rain. And your car comes up, pulling short outside it, and you're surrounded by deep, dark woods. It's like you've walked into this little picturesque English cottage that's set in the middle of a dark and stormy forest. And car splutters to a halt. What would you like to do?
I'd like to use some stealth.
All right.
As we enter the house, maybe see if there's a back door.
Okay, you get out of the car. The rain, once again, you're soaked, but you begin to trudge through it. Make a stealth check, and you can have advantage because there's no way that things are seeing you in this kind of weather. What about the rest of you?
Can I see if... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, how does advantage work in this system? That's all.
Oh, of course, a bonus die. So you just take an extra D100, and you roll it and take the higher result.
You know what? I stumbled and fell into a puddle, even with the cover of rain.
Ooh, okay. So unfortunately, you're just not being quiet enough because you basically have to shelter against the house, avoid getting completely stuck. But there is a back door. It's shut, but it doesn't look locked, or if it is locked, it's a pretty flimsy lock. And you kind of move by, but you're pretty sure that you're being loud and the light from the headlights is casting into the house.
I kicked the door as hard as I could, whether or not it's locked.
Okay. The back door flies open. Have the rest of you followed, or are you making your own point of entry?
Well, I had originally wanted to see if it looked as though there was any breaking and entering, or it looked like it was the place was broken into.
All right. So you're going to search around the outside.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now. Exactly. Make a spot check.
Spot hidden. I rolled a 5, and my spot hidden is 99.
Oh,
so that is
God. Masterful.
It's an OP character.
A brilliant spot hidden. Okay, so as you move through, you get to the front door. And you can immediately see the lock is busted. Unfortunately, you didn't really need the extreme success because it looks like the front door has been knocked open at the lock and there is splintered wood. Just as
the back door now, huh?
Flies open.
As well.
There's now a horrible crosswind and the doors start slamming and doing that thing that neither of them can lock. But inside the house, it's very, very dark and, papers are now fluttering around. I need to know where the other two of you are.
I'm kind of hanging back watching the forest.
Okay.
Because I feel like whatever is coming after us, or not after us, but is appearing, has been outside in the woods.
Yep.
I'm less concerned about another murder or a dead person, more about the natural phenomenon.
Okay, perfect. So you're gazing around at near the car, and what about yourself, Avery?
I'm doing the same because I've spotted the ball lightning, and I don't know if anyone else is around because this is not our first rodeo with creepy abandoned houses. And I got the what is it, hard success? The third, like the under a third?
Extreme.
Extreme success for my spot hidden.
No, I for a third.
Okay, brilliant.
The lowest one, whatever the best one is. I got that.
So the two of you are standing by looking. Now, those at the house, we're going to step away from the two of you for a second as you both see each other across the passageway. And something else is going to happen to the two of you. But first, outside by the car, you can see the others moving forward, beginning to investigate the house. And two of you kind of looking around, making sure that you don't spot anything. And then suddenly, in the woods to one side, Avery, you spot another figure standing stock still, just like Elia was. This figure's a little bit closer, and you can immediately make out the silhouette of a very broad-shouldered man. And he's wearing soaked, sodden, dark clothes that, despite the deep kind of color, you can see are stained with what looks like blood, and he's holding a shotgun in his hand, and he's staring directly at you without any kind of...
I just take Keiko by the hand, but I don't say anything. Like her head's kind of just like looking, I just like grab it. And then I look like stock still that direction.
And suddenly I'm also holding a hockey stick.
Okay, you've whipped it out of the back of the car, you're at the ready.
Does
Keiko
play hockey?
Apparently, it's in my character sheet. It's one of her weapons. I guess there's no explanation. I think she just has a hockey stick.
Yep. Oh, it's useful to keep around.
Yeah.
Yeah, this figure is staring directly at you, shotgun in hand, bloodstained shirt. Look, I think this is scary enough to have a sanity roll, I think, for the two of you. Can I get you to both sanity test?
Uh-oh.
What is, how is that?
So you would just want to roll a D100 against your sanity skill, sanity score, just as if it was a skill. So you have a look at your sanity score on your character sheet.
Right below your characteristics. There's lots of
I got under half.
Okay, you're all good.
All right.
You managed to keep yourself together. You're ready. You're you're holding.
Although I do ease my own shotgun out. I don't point it at him, but I'm like, okay. Not how I wanted this to go, but cool.
I got a 20, which is under 60, so I'm good.
Okay, both of you managed to keep calm and don't react. You ease your shotgun out from your coat, and this man makes no reaction. He just stands there.
Like, Keiko, we should probably separate ourselves a bit. Should he open fire, we won't be both taken by the buckshot.
I'll run to the left, and you run to the right.
Slowly, girl, slowly.
I'm already off.
You raise a hand and say slowly, and then Keiko dives to the side, ready with the hockey stick, ready to crack heads. Are you running too, or do you keep going slow?
No, when she starts running, I don't, because we've accomplished the same thing of some space, and I just say like, hey, hello there, friend. I'm here to call upon the master of the house.
He looks towards you and kind of suddenly seems to come back to himself a little bit, looks around, pulls his shotgun up, but he's kind of just looking at it. Kiko, you've made it over to him by now. Like you sprint towards him. He's just standing there kind of mutely. Are you going to whack him with the hockey stick or?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay. You got to be safe here. Make for me a fighting brawl check.
Okay. Yeah. 100%. I'm just going to like, bam.
Okay. A little percussive therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I got a 30.
Okay, and what's your fighting brawl skill?
All right, I'm looking it up.
Is talking a free
45, so it's below.
Yes, absolutely. So you can keep talking as much as you'd like. You can be yelling.
I raise my voice and I'm like, Keiko's engaged in fisticuffs.
I hear that, and I'm going to dash out the door and pull my handgun.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, so I got
the
30.
front door.
Yep.
And then my 45 is my brawl, so it's under. So it's under 45.
So, so you swing down with the hockey stick. The hit seems to jerk this person out of their reverie. Roll your damage because they drop the shotgun and hold it their face and go so
oh no!
We'll just say when he drops the gun, I definitely tuck up. I'm like, ho, friend.
Yeah.
All right. So my hockey stick damage is just 1d6. So it's a 1.
Okay, it's just enough to shock him. Now, you go for your gun. Meanwhile, Nevada, you're ready to run. This is your scene coming to action. But then there's a flash of lightning. And between you and Eliza, a sudden... The lights basically from the lightning strike illuminates the inside of the house, which is dark. And there are 2 corpses lying in the middle of the hallway between the 2 of you. Rays of blood.
I take out my 45.
Okay, both of
I
you
stopped running immediately. But the gun is still out for me as well.
You're running towards the battle that you know is happening, correct?
I was about to till the flash of lightning illuminated these corpses, and I stopped short.
Okay, so you stop, you freeze. Both of you need to make a sanity check because you've seen dead bodies.
Now's my good roll.
Just made it.
Okay. Both of you managed to hold yourself together then. Neither this won't be terrifying enough to dock sanity from you. You're experienced investigators of the paranormal.
Once in a dungeon in Edinburgh, I came across 100 bodies.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
This is nothing to me.
And once on an investigation of mine, I had a fellow colleague stick their hand completely down a corpse's mouth to retrieve something.
Once
this is like the best flex.
I found a snake inside of a man once, and the snake is still alive.
Brilliant. Ooh. So down at the bottom of the driveway, where there's this little scuffle going. The 2 of you have seen these bodies. So what are the 2 of you in the house doing? Are you going to examine the bodies? Are you going to go towards where the scuffle is, or?
Well, yeah, I'd like to see if I recognize Dr. Webb from that one time I met him at my speaking juncture.
All right, you walk in towards the bodies and begin to look over them. Meanwhile, Eliza, what are you doing?
I would just like to just generally get a physical description of both of them, because I don't know which one Dr. Webb is, but also for the other person.
Okay, so the two of you step inside. We'll come back to the scuffle that's happening down at the bottom of the driveway in just a second. But first of all, as the two of you step inside and take a look, so Dr. Webb is an older man, maybe in his late 70s or mid 70s, with a very, very small frame, a stern face of someone who believes himself to be very intelligent and respected.
I can see how that was someone Avebury hated.
He has...
Quiet.
His expression is frozen halfway between, like, I guess, like anger or spite and horror. And he's leaning up against a wall, and he appears to have bled out from a shotgun wound to his shoulder. Meanwhile, the other person is a young man, probably 18, 19, something like that, and well built. And has no visible injuries on him. His eyes are sunken into his skull, and his limbs are sort of twisted around and broken, like he is as if he's thrown them out at weird angles and been flailing about. And his mouth is crusted with foam and spittle, and it looks like he's sort of had some kind of convulsion and collapsed and died. And his panic is frozen across his face.
Can I roll for occult? Oh yes, yes, Eliza.
Do you see this young man?
I can't look away. It's quite horrifying.
It's absolutely dreadful. What do you suppose happened to him? Clearly not natural causes.
Something definitely most unnatural. Does the man have a shotgun in his hands?
There is a shotgun nearby. Good call. And now that you know to look for it, you spot it, and it's rolled off to the side.
Seems like someone shot the fine doctor and got more than he bargained for. Oh. Can I do a spot hidden just to search around and see if there's any objects that seem, or maybe I don't know if spot hidden or occult, to see if there's any objects that seem out of the ordinary?
Either of those will be suitable in this circumstance. So make that roll. Meanwhile, Eliza, is there any roll you'd like to make?
Yes. I think I would just like to, is there anything that I could see? Is there anything on closer inspection of the body that looks, anything similar to what I have read before, anything that I've heard before in my investigations?
I'd like you to make for me, I think, let's go with a psychology test. Can we get a psychology test, if that's all right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And we'll jump back to the results of those rolls in a second, because down at the bottom we have a scuffle ongoing. So you tried to talk this man down, so the Kiko darted forward, hit him in the face with a shotgun. He drops his shot with a hockey stick. He drops his shotgun, goes ow, and then you have him at gunpoint. You kind of pulls in. He's got blood dripping out of the bottom of his nose. He kind of.
Make use of those ground grippers there, sir. Just take a few paces back if you don't mind. Keiko, might you secure the man's weapon if you don't mind there?
Yeah, I'll take his weapon.
You pick it up off the ground, and suddenly you're both armed with shotguns, and he's staring at two weapons.
This is awesome.
He's looking.
I knew Eliza. As much as I hate Godfrey, I've been here before. Do I know this guy?
No, you won't have seen this person before. Oh, look! Look, I mean, you might make a luck check.
Do I need under my luck? Is that how that works?
I've never felt such power.
Then I'm 44 out of 60, so yeah, under.
Fancy. You've got a good memory for faces. You remember that this you saw this man when he stopped at a local bar once. He's a local guy, and you saw him drinking with a few people. This is, of course, during Prohibition, so it was an illegal act just to be there.
Ooh,
yeah,
saucy.
Yes, I look at him and I say, saw you at the local watering hole once there, friend. What brings you out here this fair evening?
I was. He's kind of looking over. His shirt's still visibly stained with blood. He starts. I didn't mean to do anything. There's something out here. There's a light out here. I'm so cold. He suddenly come back to himself.
I believe you, friend. I believe you, friend. What is it that you didn't mean to do there?
The gun just went off. We were just after some money.
Ah, so you're a brigand. That is you're a brigand. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know what that means. We were robbing the guy.
A thief.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you come back in? We'll deal with that with the constabulary area later, but we don't need to deal with any ghost lights out here in the meantime. You see, I don't know how the judicial system deals with ball lightning. Keiko.
Yes, it's a perfectly natural phenomenon. Why don't you wait for us in the car?
No, don't put him in our not in our car. You might leave with our
abscond with our vehicle,
help. Girl. No,
he's
in the
desperate.
house. Into the house, man.
There's
I'm not going back in there. That's where it was. That's where it came from. That's where the light was.
Well, then why don't you stay with us, sir, and you can help us see what's going on here. You seem like a burly sort.
You're mighty neighborly for someone that just broke the man's nose unprovoked. But it's just okay.
I put him in his place. He's fine now.
And that's true. Just so. What's your name, friend?
I'm Clem.
All right, Clem. Well, if you mind your P's and Q's, you might make it out of this alive. You understand? But you crossed me just once, and boom, in the gut. Got it?
I got it. I won't do nothing.
And I do motion him towards the house, because either way, I've seen the ghost light outside twice now, so I'm going in the house.
He's got to make a decision, and eventually he decides that the scary gun is very scary, and it's here, and the ghost light isn't. So he will head inside the house. Meanwhile, inside the house, the two of you have completed your roles. What did you both get?
I go ahead. Okay. I needed below a 31, but I rolled a 40. Can I spend luck points?
Absolutely. You can spend some luck points to succeed.
I have looked up from these bodies, the shotgun on the ground and the good doctor against the wall, and I've got my pistol on the hip, but it's still pointed out in that classy way they only did in the 20s. Yep. I look around and I definitely see something in this room is suspicious.
Okay, all right.
With an occult roll.
Let's start with the occult roll. You track around and you actually get like a gas lamp started so that you can get some light into this place, and a pale yellow flicker is cast across the bodies on the ground. You spot towards the side of the room near like a desk that's had its drawers thrown open is an archaeologist's dream. There is a large metal sarcophagus, probably about this big, with little stands at the bottom and ornate carvings all over it, and it has been thrown open, and there's a foul smell coming out from it, and on the ground around it there appears to be scorch marks. Meanwhile,
Eliza, I think I found what started all this.
Oh, what did you find? As I'm still like looking over, I just peek my head over.
With a psychology
test, it reminds me of something I found deep inside. And I start going on.
With a psychology test, what you're able to discover is this, just by looking at the frozen faces of these corpses, you're able to reconstruct what happened a little bit. And as you look at this person who's been flailing about, you see that their movements have gotten weaker and weaker. And this reminds you of when you have seen creatures from the mythos literally draw the strength out of people, suck out their life force, for want of a better word. So there you go.
It looks like something beyond our world has erupted from this tiny sarcophagi. Reminds me of something I saw in a tomb once in Cairo.
Well, whatever you saw in that tomb, do you think it had escaped and did? Because in my knowledge, I've seen when this man, how he appears. It would appear as though that something had literally drawn the life force out of him, and that's why he's so mangled and twisted in that form.
My guess, judging from this tiny sarcophagus, would be a tiny mummified corpse. Now, maybe something very small, but it could grow bigger if it sucked out life force, you see.
The other two of you can now enter the house. You've come through and you're pushing Clem along with the butt of the shotgun to get him to move. And you're all now, you see the bodies.
Eyes above halfway if you don't want to be horrified by mangled corpses, friends.
Yes, I'm like giving a warning.
Yep.
Apparently, this brigand here helped create at least one of those corpses, but Keiko subdued him quite judiciously, might I say.
Is there any sort of fabric? I'm not faint of heart, but I know, I worry for Keiko. She's very young. So is there like a fabric I could put over the...
I've already...
You look right at it. Wow.
I guess there's no need for... I put the fabric that I found back down.
I just say, please
actually,
keep an eye... keep an eye... Oh, go. No, please, go ahead. No, go.
Oh, I was going to say, I was going to do a biology check on the bodies.
You absolutely can. Would you like to make a biology check?
Yes.
Well, one was very obviously shot by a shotgun.
Okay.
Given that we've seen 3 of them, but that other one, Keiko, do your magic.
That's a 50, but I have a 70 in biology.
So that's a pass. You can actually determine exactly what's going on with the body. So yes, the Dr. Webb bled out from a shotgun wound, was fired upon, and the other one appears to have, well, you're looking at it from a biological perspective instead of Eliza, who is looking at it from sort of a more psychological perspective, or could have pieced it together, and science explains everything. So you're able to realize that the electrical forces that were contained within this person, the very neurons firing between their brains, the stimulus that was getting their heart to move, the power from their nerves was drawn through and sucked out, and they flailed wildly until there was nothing left. The spark of life extinguished.
Oh, so I bend down and explain that, well, the spark of life, the electrical spark of life was drained from this person. Maybe that's what we're seeing. Maybe it's some sort of new creature, some new evolution of electricity that's become sentient and is living in this forest and feeding off of other human beings.
Would you say mummified creature?
She's
sure. Really stuck on this mummy thing.
that sounds like something.
Tiny thing.
She's just like, sure, and it has snakes and can drive a Jeep.
Keiko, I'm quite impressed that you can discover all of that by poking it with your hockey stick.
Thank you. I am a scientist, and scientists have their tools. Mine is a hockey stick.
Well done.
It sounds more like H.G. Wells than Charles Darwin, but came in, and I'm like, please keep an eye on Clem. If he runs, shoot him. And I go and look at the sarcophagus. Are there any hieroglyphics? Because I do read hieroglyphics.
Absolutely do. Make me a hieroglyphics test, and can I also get a spot hidden test from you?
Hieroglyphics, I got under half.
Yep.
Spot hidden, I got just under.
Okay, let me get the exact details for you. By the way, I have a lovely little picture here that I can share with you if you'd like, a preview.
Yes.
Is to come.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's awesome.
It's going to be fine.
Yes.
I'm about to say, the fact that it looks like Eliza, that's not troubling at all. Great, cool, cool, great.
Foreshadowing.
So yes, you written across the outside of the sarcophagus are a set of hieroglyphics that don't seem to convey meaning as much as sound. So a more which is not the traditional way that hieroglyphics would work, but they appear to be spelling out some kind of a set of words that start with "ya," and you stop immediately because you recognize that this is some kind of incantation.
Yeah, this one I know. I know those words. Yeah.
Perfect. So with that in mind, how did your spot hidden go?
Just under.
The desk itself has all kinds of sort of bits of paper and strewn about it, and you can see that the locked cabinet at the bottom appeared to be where the sarcophagus was kept. It was relatively small, so it could have been slotted into the bottom of the desk, and near that there were a collection of bundled papers, which you can pick up and share with the rest of the group if you would like.
I would. I make a point as I'm walking past Godfrey. I'm all like, normally we have to go up the coast for these kind of shenanigans, and I kick him in the foot, like my foot and his foot, like, puh. Got what you deserved.
The leg flops to the side, and his head does a little. And he keeps like sort of staring straight out.
Oh, that's off-putting. Is what's his name? Clem? Is he being calm?
I'm not going to do anything. Please don't shoot me.
I check on him with my rifle still at my waist.
I don't
my pistol.
I don't want to be fed to the monster. Please, just let me go or take me to police or anything. I'm sorry, all right? I'm sorry.
Glenn, did a tiny mummy come out of here?
No, we asked him where the money was, and he said it was inside that, and we opened it, and then the light came. The light came out of that. Meanwhile, on that note, you've distributed these papers now, and I have a full handout here, but I'm not going to read it out verbatim because who wants to hear that? So instead, I'm going to paraphrase it, and it seems that
like bullet points: madness, tentacles, madness, death.
Exactly, bullet point. You've got it. Specifically, these are the notes of the good Dr. Webb, who has been trying to figure out a way of disposing of this thing for many, many years, but he has not been able to figure out how. And he laments the fact that the only person who probably could is his sworn rival, Avery, that he hates with all of his might. And he has been using it in medical procedures, actually, because it has the ability to change the body. He calls it a sin eater, and it says that he inherited it from another physician. And bit by bit, it has started to sort of shake and become more powerful and more difficult to control. And the last time he released it, it almost killed one of his patients. He's terrified that it was going to break free, which is why he contacted the collection of you.
Avery, do you see anything about how to put it back in the box?
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm like, of course, it was Godfrey. Too late. You called. Although I rolled pretty good. So what skill is this?
I'd like an occult skill for someone to go through the papers and try to figure out some kind of, some kind of information in the notes that will be able to restrain the beast.
I am not good at occult.
That's a specialty of mine, and I rip the papers out of your hand. I figure there must be a way.
I have a 0. I'm just so sciencey.
All monsters can go back in their box. There's always a way.
Okay. I failed on my occult check.
Oh, bad luck. Nevada, how did you go?
Got it.
You got it? Okay, fantastic. So you find a section of writing which notes that he was told that to restrain the creature, which is how he's always put it back in the box when it threatens to escape, you have to read the incantation imprinted upon the outside of the sarcophagi backwards and attempt to physically place the creature back in the box. But it has become more and more difficult to do as it has gotten more and more powerful. The only way he's been able to weaken the creature is with fire.
I write out for them phonetically the incantation backwards. I do not say it, but I write it.
So you're working away, you're writing out the incantation. I assume you're still standing hockey stick at the ready to smack Clem if he does anything. Yeah, he keeps kind of flinching every time you take a breath. Meanwhile, what are the two of you doing, Eliza and Nevada?
Keiko, wouldn't you say that a shotgun blast does create fire in its use of gunpowder?
It does. It's a combustion weapon.
Interesting. Combustion, yes.
So you think with our firearms would be able to defeat?
I don't know.
This thing
I told you I wanted to go outside and shoot at it.
Or we could set this house on fire. And burn it all down.
Well, it seems the doctor wouldn't mind anymore.
That is an option.
Yeah, but that wouldn't help actually restrain the creature. You have to get the creature in the box, you see, and then do something to do away with it.
Can I ask? Wait, meta question
the box
again.
No, it's right there, Keiko. You stay with me. This is the sarcophagi, child.
So,
it's right there.
What did we see about fire? Can you reiterate that? Like, do we need to set a fire to draw it in, or it needs to be restrained with fire?
When you are attempting to force the creature back inside the box, it is very strong and will try to resist you because it doesn't like being put in the box. The only way that the doctor was able to weaken it to make it easier to put in the box was with fire.
But the incantation doesn't draw it near. It's just
No, it appears to be something that you do. You don't know how to draw it near, although it appears to have been wandering around and being drawn to electricity in the past. That's what you managed to extrapolate. So you figure if you can get some kind of electrical impulse here, and this place probably has a generator, you could draw it in like a moth.
Or we could do the old Ben Franklin during the storm and just send a bunch of metal objects onto the roof.
A kite.
Can
I search the house for a kite?
Yes, absolutely. Make a luck check for me.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's most definitely a kite here.
Okay, it turns out that Dr. Webb was a keen kite collector.
I found a big one shaped like a shark.
All right, Pat, perfect. I was about to ask you to describe one. So you've got one shaped like a shark. Easy.
We could also put a kitchen appliance into some water.
I don't know what kitchen appliances we have in a cottage in the 20s.
Oh, that's true.
It's probably pretty simple. I think there's probably a gas stove. So I don't think you have electrical appliances that you can drop, but you do have this kite and bits of metal on the roof. Those are all excellent options. You also, since you were searching around the house, occasionally stop passing by Clem and kind of getting ready to scare him in case he's thinking of going anywhere. You will find a generator. Yes, what were you going to say, Avery?
Do we see the robber's vehicle, Clem? Clem, where's your vehicle, lad? How'd you get up here tonight?
We got dropped off. We were going to get picked up.
Can I look at the weapon that Wentworth is holding and the weapon that Clem is holding and see if they're the exact same model?
They are different ones, actually. Now, if you would like, can I get you to make a psychology test, Nevada?
You got it.
I was thinking we might be able to use an automobile to draw it out. You see, it went after the farmer's vehicle.
I slid under. I got 39 on a 40.
Okay. He says picked up, so that immediately makes you think, oh, there's someone else involved. Now, who could be? And your mind casts back to the ash blonde-haired woman, Mary, back at the gas station, who tore away and seemed very suspicious and angry and scared. You reckon that she might possibly be involved, or at least
never trust an angry woman, I say. As an angry woman sometimes myself.
That's
what I'm taking from this is if Mary should turn up, we shoot her. Is it that's what you say we do with the poop?
Let's ask Clem. Hey Kiko, how about you threaten him with your hockey stick and shotgun dual wielding?
I feel we might be better off if we set a trap.
Love a good trap. Once I set foot into a bear trap in the middle of the Arctic. Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm sure you were fine.
Another time.
I think what we should do, if we're going to use science as a basis for all of this, we set the house on fire, pull the sarcophagus out in front of it, fly the kite, summon whatever this creature is, and then give it no choice but to go back into its sarcophagus because it's afraid of the fire. And then one of us stands guard with a shotgun in case anyone else shows up.
Yeah,
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, might point out one tiny flaw with your logic there. So we cannot predict when the electricity will arrive, but the fire is an ever-present threat that I feel would drive the ghost sphere further away, not hitherto.
Perhaps we could find gasoline either siphoned from the vehicles, or somewhere else.
Yes,
we sprinkle it despite the rain. We spread it throughout the house, and then we throw the match at the very last moment.
It's a risk.
I like that idea.
But
I would love to see Godfrey's house burn to the ground. Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone wins.
Except for the young girl with no grandfather and soon to be no home.
Yeah, I'll see that she gets a scholarship. She'll land on her feet. She's a smart young woman.
Exactly. Perfect. So it sounds like you have a plan. I'm going to need somebody to mess around with kites and metal and lightning. I'm going to need somebody to go and try and siphon some gasoline. I'm going to need somebody to take watch, and I'm going to need somebody to do that one other thing that you've forgotten that I won't remember.
My best skill is archaeology. Any of these?
I want to do the kite.
I'll prepare the trap.
I hand the shark to you.
I do.
May this do well in your capable young hands.
Science!
I will search for some gasoline, and I am on. And
Yes.
should anything happen?
Okay.
Did anyone claim that they were taking the tiny sarcophagus and putting it outside?
I'm doing that. However, I make a point of giving the phonetic incantation to Eliza. So, like, if this goes wrong, I know it, but if I can't get it out, you have it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Last thing is staying watch with a shotgun.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's my favorite thing.
Right.
Can I borrow someone? There's a shotgun on the ground. I guess I'll pick up that one.
You're all armed to the teeth now. Between the
I got a handgun and a shotgun. Clem, step outside with me, friend.
Okay. Just just don't shoot me.
Quickly before I'm gonna have Clem search the pockets of both the doctor and his friend.
Do I have to? Okay.
Well, you came here for the loot, so I suppose you should check and see anything.
Yay. He searches through the pockets. Look, they have, Webb was in his pajamas basically, so he doesn't really have anything on him. His friend has like a key, a little stack of money, and a penknife, but they don't have any bizarre effects. Are you looking for something, anything in particular?
Just thought I'd check. And actually, while everyone else is doing their stuff, I'm going to oversee Clem dragging the two, Dr. Webb's body outside because, I think Elia would like to give her grandfather a proper burial. And that's the least we can do.
Okay.
His friend, we're leaving in the house that's about to burn.
Fair enough. So you're watching over. I'm going to need, you have already succeeded your hieroglyphics check. So this sarcophagus, the position.
One more thing before I actually touch this thing and drag it outside. I'm like, Clem, walk me through this entire thing from start to finish just one more time. Okay. What exactly happened from the moment you drive? I am. Yeah, from the moment you drove up that path to now.
Okay,
all of it.
Well, we got dropped off.
Who's we, boy? Who's we?
Well, me and my childhood friend, whose name I obviously know since.
Is it the dead guy? No, it's not. I mean, I'm just trying to. Is it the guy who's twisted and broken?
Me and Billy, whose name I'd never forget.
Got it. Okay.
Forward. Me and Billy got dropped off by Mary. We were going to head into the house. We'd seen Elia come by and flash Folden money when she was at the diner, so we figured we might be able to get a few dollars. We came in and we had masks, we had guns, but the crazy old bastard fought back, and we were wrestling with a shotgun, and then it went off, and Elia attacked us, so we knocked her down, and then he said the money's in there and pointed at the drawer. We tore it open, we opened the box, and a light came out. So I ran while it jumped on Billy. Oh, you don't think I'm a coward, do you? He says.
No, I do, but please keep going. Continue. Yeah, you shot an unarmed man. It's great. Yeah. No, but keep talking. Go on. How'd you end up outside, boy?
Thing jumped up on Billy, and I turned back to look at it. And as soon as I saw it, it's like something came over me, and and then I can't really remember anything. And then I was getting hit in the face with a hockey stick.
Okay, go to your electric entity hypothesis. Why is it that it so thoroughly consumed Billy, but merely stunned Clem and Ayla?
Those hands were on the box when you opened it, Clem.
The guess would be that those two were able to actually get away, whereas the thing stopped and fed on Billy.
They got frightful presence. He got claw bite. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I feel slightly more prepared for this here, because if I die making the same mistake Godfrey made and never live it down, you see. Right?
Of course.
And then I go back to setting up the trap as discussed.
Okay, so you've got this whole thing. You even draw some pentacles around the box. You've got it all set up. Meanwhile, you're keeping watch. You're making Clem work. He gets the body. He covers it with the blanket that you had found that you were going to use to cover it so that Keiko wouldn't see it. But then Keiko got down and was like, oh, cool, and started poking at the body. Keiko, meanwhile, you're up on the roof and you're trying to get some kind of harness the power of natural fury, get this lightning to work. Can I get you to, what role would you like to argue here? I think a natural world is probably pretty good.
Natural world or, yeah, I guess that's my most science other than biology. This isn't really biology.
I think natural world will suit perfectly.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll go down in the science books or whatever. Ooh. I got a 98 out of 60.
98 out of 60. Okay, so a 98 is
on the roof trying to catch lightning.
Oh no!
I think I have the perfect idea of this. Come back in a second. But first, you're grabbing fuel. You know cars. This is probably you paid for this car, so you probably know it pretty well. I would assume. Right. Eliza. So you can drag up the fuel and you can start spreading it around inside the house, setting it up ready to burn. Is there anything else you want to do?
Well, I do retrieve that transcription of the incantation.
Yes. Okay. So you are now armed with the bit of paper. You've splashed gasoline everywhere, and you're all ready. I'm going to assume that you have set up the trap relatively well. You're all getting stationed. We're going to come back to how that fumble affects you, but to set the scene, you get Clem. I presume you lock him in the car or something to keep him out of the way.
Yeah, get in the back seat, Clem.
Okay, he gets in the back.
And I don't want to see you leaning forward. We have the key right here.
Yep. Okay. He stays hidden, and then the collection of you set up around the house, getting ready to bait this trap. Maybe one of you are you crouched inside? Are you under the car? Are you watching from the roof? Where is everybody setting up for this trap? Keiko, I'm assuming you're managing the kite, so you're going to be stuck there until
the kite's also tied to the end of my hockey stick.
Okay, perfect.
I'm crouching
even higher
at the driveway next to the car with my shotgun and the handgun pointed towards where Avebury is with the sarcophagus. I think you're outside the front door?
Yeah, because we're trying to draw it towards the house, right? Yeah. I'm like, Keiko, I'm no scientist, but if it's tied to the hockey stick, aren't you completing the circuit to the ground there, my dear girl? Won't you be?
I don't hear you. The rain's too strong.
Exactly. So
I'm just like the power.
It's alive. You're all set up. You're in your ambush positions. You've figured stuff out pretty well, and you're ready to go now. You're not going to let this creature get the better of you. You set up the trap, and then lightning starts to strike down bit by bit nearby. At first, it's going very, very well, Keiko. You manage to draw the creature forward, deep in the woods, an alien presence, one that sees in brilliant colors and thinks and feels differently and is drawn towards that scent of electricity that it must find, that it must consume, trapped for so long it can finally feed, moves towards the house. And the collection of you will see this light flickering in the wood, a dead light that flashes first one way and the others and gradually moves forward. You're waiting, you're baiting the trap, and then the creature surges forward, heading towards the house. Just as a lightning bolt hits the end of your hockey stick, you complete the circuit. Make a constitution check for me as you are struck by lightning and all hell breaks loose. Everybody else, you see the dead light, make me sanity checks.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, I make a point to not look at it. I don't. I look. I just eyes on the sarcophagus.
So there is, unfortunately, there is a rule in Call of Cthulhu.
I have to look at it.
Your eyes. It is too horrible. You can't bring yourself to do anything but peek. It has to be seen.
I have seen many things of the earth, many things dead and undead, but I have never seen a light come to life like this. I rolled an 88 on a 60.
So those of you who fail are going to take a D8 of sanity damage, and those of you who pass are just going to take 2.
Okay. I just got a
I'm
Constitution
too.
one though, right?
Yep. You just
Okay.
got the Constitution one.
So mine was 70 out of 80.
Oh my God, you are tough. Okay, you take a D4 of damage as a lightning bolt hits you, and you get that rad kind of like, you know, those bruises, the lightning bruises that fire.
Oh man, that's so cool! I'm getting tenure for sure.
I'll write your reference letter.
I'm glad I already have tenure because my next actions are not going to be up to me. My sanity just dropped 7 points.
Oh my
no.
God! Which means that you need to make for me an intelligence check.
Oh,
To
goodness.
see if you comprehend what is happening.
I
Otherwise,
hope I fail.
Yeah. You want to fail because you want to not be able to understand what's going on.
I failed.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Stop.
There's an
In a
explanation.
good way.
for this. You just can't think of it now. You managed to get control of your mind. Eliza and Avery. What about the two of you?
I passed.
All right, you passed, and
As
Eliza.
well.
Oh, okay.
I passed as
So
well.
the two of you, you've steeled yourself, and Nevada, you've managed to cruise through this by playing dumb, essentially.
No, I remember it was Alaska. Alaska, I saw something like this. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. In which case, we are going to go to dexterity order as this creature now begins its hunt proper. Keiko, you have been struck by lightning. You have survived, and you're not, a toasty, marshmallowy creature now. But you have fallen off the roof, and you land flat at the bottom of the house, and that's sort of how you take the damage.
Ow.
So, everyone, please give me your dexterity score.
Okay, mine is 50.
40.
Mine's 55.
Yep.
Dex, I'm at 70.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
I'm a
How do you think
thinker,
I
you see.
tumble through all these
Yes,
tunes?
yes. Your alacrity is of the mind, not of.
Yeah, I was in my younger days. I was very spry.
And how fast can a deadlight be, really? So it turns out it's pretty fast. It goes.
It's a little too fast. It can be a little too fast, I believe, is the answer to that there. A little too fast.
And now that you've seen it properly, let's get that art again in a way that you can all see.
Oh my goodness.
One more time. The deadlight comes charging forward.
I feel like she just seems like fine. Like she's just like, yeah. Like, I think it's right. Deadlight. Woo!
Yeah, deadlight.
Deadlight.
Deadlight. Yeah, maybe it's friendly. Did anybody even ask? Like maybe it just wants a hug.
Yeah,
It's just
Billy, it wasn't.
absolutely.
Hugged Billy too tight.
It's just hungry. It just wants some electricity.
It's just misunderstood.
Electricity. He needs.
I too hated Godfrey. I feel like I've got something to build off of with the ghost light.
Exactly.
We have common ground.
You're more alike than you are different. Who's the
don't-
real eldritch monster?
That guy, because his body's out here. Him.
Exactly.
He clearly stole your research.
Yes. He grounded you, electric being. Yeah.
So basically, the deadlight, in its strange, obeying its strange appetite, comes rushing forward, and there is someone who has just been struck by lightning on the ground, who is still carrying a significant charge, I suppose. So the deadlight is going to rush towards you first. You were the source of all this electricity. You were being hit by it before, so it tears towards you, moving quickly across the ground, and little kind of tendrils of light start to, smack out from it and hit the walls and the ground around it, sparking and giving off this cold sort of energy. They reach towards you and they try to grab at you. Tendrils, tentacles, whatever you want to call them, they're heading for you. I need you to make a dodge check or a riposte check. A dodge check is, I'm getting the hell out of here, and you need to just match the same score as them to avoid it. A riposte check is you getting up and saying, hey, I'm not letting you get away with this, and trying to slip it back. And you need to get a more successful roll than them.
Run,
so
Keiko, run!
Easier for you to dodge.
It might be easier, but it's way less fun.
Yes, very true.
And I'm not standing down to this thing. It's clearly a biological entity.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to stand up to it.
You stand up, bring
With my
up
hockey stick.
your hockey stick like an ancient legendary blade and swing it down. Make me a fighting brawl check.
Don't forget you've got a shotgun. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, I do have a shotgun.
Oh yeah. So you bring the hockey stick down, they go, wait a minute.
Yeah, and then yeah.
All right, make me a firearms shotgun test.
Firearms shotgun.
And since you are in point blank range, you make it with a bonus die. So roll twice and take the better result.
All right. Ooh. Okay, so it's 25 and I got a 20.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're not a great shot. You haven't trained.
No.
You hit, and this tendril comes firing out towards you, and oh my god, it does not do very well. So it's going through, it's probing, it's like a lovely snack, and bang, suddenly a buckshot flies into its face. Well, it doesn't really have a face, but it flies into it. Now, the bullets do nothing. This thing is not hurt by shrapnel, but there is fire. You sparked flame right in its face, and that it doesn't like. And it kind of leans back and hisses, I suppose. A strange sound diffuses through the air. It's oddly familiar. You could almost describe it. Eliza, what does it sound like? What's the sound of this thing in pain? It can be anything that you'd like.
It sounds. You wouldn't think it because it's electrical, but it sounds like a gurgling.
Fantastic. So this gurgle kind of comes through, it leans back. You have damaged it. Oh, excellent. I won't tell you by how much, but you've heard it. And now, as it rears backwards injured, you can initiate the plan. Stop going so well. You're all meant to die in Cthulhu. First, Nevada.
I want to yell to Eliza, throw the match! Well, I take my handgun, because I'm better with my handgun. The shotgun was just to scare Clem. I take my handgun, and I want to, just to keep my friends safe, I don't want the bullet to be anywhere close to Kiko, but as long as I can put maybe 10 feet away from Kiko and have it in the direction of the thing, just to get fire going at it.
Okay. So you'll kind of just fire and smoke, flame and smoke. Make a firearms pistol. You won't be making this with a bonus die because you're basically not really trying to shoot it. You're trying to just sort of create fire here.
Remember how I saw the light and I was disoriented and I'm just seeing multiple of the light everywhere and I fumble with a 96.
Oh my God. Oh dear. And
luckily I was aiming way out.
Yeah, you tried really hard to, unfortunately, but then Kiko's so quick, and she just came out round the other side. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be really mean. With that, Keiko, you see a gunshot land next to it, and the second one make a dodge check to try and now a bullet.
I can't see the light in my eyes.
It's the Devil's Tower all over again, Nevada. Focus.
No, that's I have
so
25,
many of them,
and I got a 56.
Oh, okay, so you were struck in the shoulder.
No!
Roll your damage, and you will take half the damage of this shot.
She's like really short too, which is like she's like tiny, just getting shot.
Oh, no.
All right, so the damage for the shotgun, what is that?
No, this is just the pistol.
Oh, it's just for the pistol. Okay.
So you can roll your you roll your damage, Nevada.
Roll my yeah. Okay. 1d10.
Humans are the monsters after all.
Did you roll a 10?
I got a shot here. It's a 10.
Oh my God.
No.
So you take 5
we could call it a 0 if you want.
That cracks you in the shoulder. What's your max health?
So I've taken 9 damage.
Oh my God.
Where is that? I'm looking for the health. I'm gonna apologize.
Otherwise, you can
points
just tell
are
me
below
your
age and everything. Your name.
Otherwise, you can just tell me your size and your
12.
constitution, and I can tell you
12.
what it is. 12. Okay, your max health is 12, so this is not a major wound, but you have taken.
I'm like messed up though.
You're struck by lightning and shot,
like
and you stagger forward. You're Nevada. You're kind
This is a
Kiko,
tiny
my
science
protege.
student.
Will you ever forgive me?
This is not that
I'm
form
just
of
like,
experimentation.
I will never forgive you.
Eliza, it is your turn.
Rivals.
So are we at the point where we're trying to, everybody's off the roof and we are trying to light the place on fire?
Yes, now
I
is the
screamed
time
you
where
to
you'll be
throw
able
the
to
match.
weaken it.
Yes. So I will draw a match and flick it over towards the house.
Okay, fantastic.
In the trail of gasoline that I've lit.
Perfect. Do you want to give me a throw test just for style points? It's just lighting a match.
Oh my
if you want to
goodness.
do it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Good thing it's not windy and raining right now, right?
Yeah,
no,
right?
No, we're fine. We're good. It's fine.
Okay, I need
all good.
below a 55. No, and I rolled a 97.
Oh, oh my gosh.
I was so close.
That's a fumble again.
The problem is you were like, you're all supposed to die. This is going too well. Like the storyteller's not supposed to be able to curse us with hubris.
Yeah. Like the match gets, like the flame gets a little too close to my fingers. And so I'm like, ah!
And you drop it and it lights in a way that you weren't expecting and fire just rushes forward, so it will go off. But in the grand spirit of Fumbles bullying Keiko, it goes just as Keiko is running past the house, and then there's suddenly fire and little bits of gasoline are spraying up on you. Make me another dodge check as you've been struck by lightning and flames.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Okay, that's better. That's 17 out of 25.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So you dive sideways, manage to slap at the fire and avoid...
Wait, while the explosion goes off.
Yep.
Oh
now,
my goodness.
this fire rushes forward and it is completely engulfing everything. The light shrinks back. An ancient enemy. This is a rivalry that goes back beyond time, before existence. This creature and flame and energy, and it rears back and it begins to shrink in terror before the sarcophagus. And just at that point, it is Avery's turn.
Hagen, Ugagnagel, Raila, Cthulhu, Muggle Nafa, Nagalua, Fatagan, Cthulhu, yay!
Brilliant. You lean forward and bring up the sarcophagus and it begins to suck into it, tearing and ripping at the light. Make me a power check as you just force this thing in, tear it back in, binding it once more.
That is under half.
A hard success. It is beautiful. You don't even you just finish off my monster in one round. That's okay. You finish this. You lock this thing in. It doesn't get at your hands. It doesn't burn you horribly. You suck it in and slam the lid shut. And the creature is bound once again. And you are left alone. The sound of the rain echoing about. You have bound the dead light. And this place is once more safe.
Just sit on the sarcophagus and I say, monster captured, God forbid, house in flames. I think this all counts as a win. And I just put my monocle on.
I think I saw a flask in Klim's pocket earlier. I opened the car door, rip it out of his pocket, slam the door again, and bring it over to the crew to cheers. And maybe pour some on Keiko's wound.
Yeah, I'm just laying in the mud, just letting the rain hit me. Just like, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I take a swig, but as she's passing it to Keiko, I retrieve it, take a swig, and then give it back so she can pour it.
Brilliant.
Okay. I'm like, I can't, this is illegal. I can't do that. I have to follow the rules.
Well done, sir. Again, we've proven ourselves quite a team.
Yeah, indeed we have. Indeed we have. Another one for the record books there. Oh, Clem, by the way. Yeah, you can go. Yeah? You can go. Yeah, get out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear to you, I won't squander this chance at life. You've given me back my... You tell him to get away, and he hurries off.
Sorry about your best friend.
It's okay. He probably wasn't a good influence.
Make new friends.
You're a reflection of the closest people around you.
Make better life choices.
I'll try. So fantastic. That is the scenario. That is called Cthulhu.
Jamie, great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We were doing so well until the very end.
Oh, well, you managed.
No, we didn't.
That was great.
Keiko,
you got, I don't think I've ever seen 3 fumbles and someone got struck by lightning and set on fire in the light.
Well, it still survived.
Yes.
It's statistically anomalous, girl. I'm just pointing that out to you. Just a disproportionate number of things happen to you.
Keiko really went in the take to come up with that plan. What a excellent student. Reminds me of myself at a young age.
Absolutely. So very quickly, can I get you all to just go through and can you give us a brief epilogue for your character? What goes on? What are they going to go on to do? And also tell everyone watching where they can find you and see more of the cool things that you're doing.
Sure. Let's probably the same order as the beginning of the show. I'll
Sounds
jump in.
Good. Yeah, let's do that. So, Becca.
Well, Dr. Nevada Jones, of course, writes a book about it. she's very well published and goes back to her professorship and just, puts it on the shelf along with all the other adventures. Make sure to write once a week to her incredible cohorts here and ready for the next adventure. And I'm Becca Scott. You can find me at the Becca Scott, and I'm running some Call of Cthulhu games on my own YouTube channel, which is Good Time Society.
Okay, fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you so much. And Noura.
Yes, Eliza, being completely exhausted in this area, heads back to her investigative team in London on Carnaby Street and does use her experiences as a inspiration for her next adventure novel.
Okay.
And then, speaking of Carnaby Street, I am on a Call of Cthulhu stream called Carnaby Street Case Files, and it's on the Initiative Order on Twitch and on YouTube. And I'm also on a D&D Curse of Strahd campaign called Into the Mist, which shows on D&D's Twitch channel and also on twitch.tv/realmsmith. That is also on YouTube.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much. B. Dave.
Oh, Wentworth Avery returns the sarcophagi to the Miskatonic Society of Paranormal Investigation to be encased in cement to the end of days. Make sure that everyone knows of the heroism of my fine associates, in that although Godfrey was trucking with infernal powers, in his last moments, he too died a hero.
Yes, of course. And just to throw a little spanner in the works, Elia doesn't really know people in her grandfather's profession. She'll ask you to manage the funeral. Are there any particular words that you want to say at the eulogy?
So many sneak disses. So many sneak disses. A man like Godfrey was the Dr. Godfrey. It was an inspiration. The Dr. Webb managed to exceed his significant mental limitations to achieve great deeds, and oftentimes through sheer happenstance encountered powers best left alone that still managed to help people. And in his moments, although he died alone and afraid, he died seeking revenge, which I think is all we could possibly hope for. And whatever is built on the ruins of his land and reputation, I'm sure will grow up greater and grander than what came before.
Amazing. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Holly.
Yes, so Keiko goes on to go back to the university, Miskatonic University, graduates with honors and cool scars, which is like super sick. Now she's super even more rad. And then she's going to go back for grad school, obviously, do that for a while. And then for a couple years, obviously, she has to wait until one of the professors dies to get a job, and then eventually get a job, and then obviously works very hard, gets tenure, becomes a professor. Tragically goes on too many adventures shortly after, eaten by a horrible monstrosity, but dies a hero. With her hockey stick in hand. Yeah, with her hockey stick in hand.
Logical explanation for that Shuggoth, I'm telling you.
Yes, she will say that the Shuggoth is a new evolution of squid, and she will never ever deny it.
It's not.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, hello, Holly. You can find me on the internet as Holly Conrad and at We Growing Hens. I stream things and just do random things all the time.
And make amazing art.
I do sometimes, yes, occasionally. But yeah, I'm here. Find me. Say hello. Yay.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great time.
Yeah. Well,
yes, of course.
Who are you? Really find you,
good
James?
keeper. Who are you, good sir?
Terrible. So I'm James. I work for Chaosium. You can find me on Twitter as @RoboPelican, and you can check out the Stream of Chaos, which is Chaosium's live stream game, and also all of the amazing Chaosium related things that all the cast are doing. And thank you so much, everybody. If you want to pick up a Chaosium book, you can go to the Chaosium website and you can use the promo code PAX Online 2020, all caps, no spaces, to get 10% off your order. Thank you so much. Enjoy, and we'll see you all later.
I have to say, this is my first time playing.
Yes.
I've never played Cthulhu before, and it was
so fun.
You
were incredible.
Yeah, you were great.
Everyone should pick it up and play some Eldritch Horrors.
It was a lot of fun. All right. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.